Bob Chapman is our guest. We just went live at prisonplanet.tv. The websites are Infowars.com and prisonplanet.com. Paul Watson has posted an extremely important article up on prisonplanet.com. It needs to go out everywhere. Exposure of this may have some bearing on stopping it. It's all over European press, French, German. It's all over the Chinese press. Very, very important. It's going up on prisonplanet.com. Right now, RAND Corporation, highest level of Pentagon planning, wanting to start a war with China or Russia. RAND lobbies Pentagon start war to save U.S. economy. A huge war. Bob Chapman, recap why the elite are doing this for this segment, and we'll come back and take calls.
Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, they've broken the world financial system. And this isn't the first time they've done it. They've done it through the centuries many times, but this is probably one of the three most serious breakdowns in history. And that leaves the Depression out, which was not that bad considering. Of course, if you lived through it, it was. And being in this position, they have to create the diversion. The diversion would bring them more power, more wealth, and more control over the people. And that diversion, again, is war. In fact, back in the early part of this century, and then that's not so long ago, we predicted the war and invasion in Iraq and Afghanistan and the event that would trigger it. We didn't know what the event was, but we were pretty close in the timing. We were within 33 days. And so if you read history, you can see that they have done this over and over again. So it's not anything special to be able to predict what these people are going to do. All you have to do is find out what they did before. And so with that said, they have done Iraq and Afghanistan, and now, because their system is falling apart, they have to have a bigger and better war. And that's what Paul Watson was talking about. And one of the things I'm curious about is how did the word leak out as to what RAND Corporation and the Illuminati was up to? And I'd like to see if Paul has a comment on that, or if anybody knows. But it had to have been leaked.
Well, we let Paul go so he can expand the article that's up on prisonplanet.com.
Well, but perhaps he can address that when he comes back later. But I'm curious.
Well, I mean, why do we have Jeffrey Sott of the huge, firm Raymond James on CNBC saying the Illuminati's behind all this? I mean,
that's incredible. That is such a milestone for us students. I've read over 5,000 books on the subject in the last 50 years. I mean, this is a major breakthrough when someone will get on a major media platform and say, it's the Illuminati. And so everybody in America is going to start talking about it. And this is going to expose what these people are doing. Maybe it'll wake the public up.
Let's play that
statement.
Yeah, let's play that clip for those that didn't hear it. The video's up on prisonplanet.com, but here it is.
At least you're getting back to the point where you can start to look at fundamentals, and that's good news. What happened?
I think you're in a liquidation phase. I think Kirsten had it exactly right. I think there's a bunch of wrong-footed moves by Hank Paulson and the Illuminati of the country, if you will, and I think we're paying for it right now.
What?
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can watch the video.
The only thing he left out is I listened to Alex Jones. Well, it's true. I mean, there's only a handful of us on these programs who've got the guts to come out and go head-to-head with these people.
Quick definition of the Illuminati, Bob.
A group of people who were put together a long, long time ago for their own interests of power. And they took over the financial system in 1207, I think the date was. And ever since then, they've dictated to us.
Then they went over to England, set up their system there. Then they got control of the British Empire in 1815, the U.S. in 1913, and they are a murderous lot. Bob Chapman's our guest. Back after this quick break for your phone calls. Stay with us. Okay, let's go ahead and go to your phone calls for Bob Chapman, the internationalforecaster.com. Jeff in Connecticut, you're on the air. Welcome.
Good to talk to you. I've been listening to you for 3 years, and thank you for getting me out of the matrix, so to speak. I got two questions, if I can. One, obviously I don't trust either of the candidates, but one thing troubles me, is, at least in terms of Obama. Carolyn Kennedy. Obviously she knows what happened to her father. She stayed out of the limelight for years. Why all of a sudden this support of Obama?
Well, I mean, she's a Democrat, but it doesn't matter. The point is that McCain is out of his mind, open border, anti-gun, pro-New World Order. It's just that Obama's gotten 3 times the globalist money and Wall Street money than McCain, so that tells me they want him. And the dirt on Obama, they could destroy him anytime they wanted. The media, the mainstream media, always says, oh, it's no big deal, showing me the establishment is for him. You want to comment on the election, Bob Chapman?
I think that's, from the Kennedy side, it's political. I think that her sponsorship, if you may, is somewhat misguided. But, that's the mental framework. I mean, you live in New England. You know what it's like. You know what politics is like. I grew up in Boston. James Michael Curley was elected the mayor of Boston while he was in Danbury Federal Penitentiary. I mean, this is the kind of thinking that goes on. And, of course, the Kennedys were deeply involved with him. And I know that from firsthand, incidentally. And so that would explain why she did what she did. I think the important thing with Obama here is the birth certificate issue going to be an issue before the election or after? And either way, it's not going to be nice.
My second question, if you will, obviously you've been talking about the Illuminati starting back in 1207, old money, talking about the British Crown. What exactly is the involvement of the Vatican? I mean, obviously, if you're talking about somebody with old money, you're talking about the Vatican as well.
I don't know for certain, but I do know this. If they survived all those years, they had to play ball with these people.
Certainly, absolutely.
And so you can take it from there. It's a whole different subject, and I'm really not qualified. I'm not a scholar on that. And I personally like to leave it alone, but I have my doubts, deep doubts, and I was brought up a Catholic, so there's lots.
Well, we know this. The last 2 popes have called for world government, New World Order, merger of all the religions, and that's, we know, caused masses of conservative Catholics or Christian Catholics to leave. But at the same time, there's a whole Israeli branch. And the Israeli government, we know, funds people to go around and say it's a Catholic-only program, a Catholic-only conspiracy. And that's a way that they've tried to basically balkanize the awakening to the New World Order. Every major group, a huge institution is New World Order, or the establishment goes and takes them down. Iraq, countries like that, we're not even saying are run by good people. The point is they're not in the New World Order, so they're taken down. And so, so much of our energies are wasted on who's at the top of the pyramid. We know it's the New World Order system. Clearly the Vatican's involved. But then we also have folks who are Israeli funded, and they've been exposed, who run around trying to stir up fights, demonizing good people in the anti-New World Order movement, way overestimating the power of the Vatican by claiming everybody but them are secret Vatican agents. And it's just asinine. And then now we've tracked it directly back to the Israeli government.
Publishing, and she said that, she's done pieces. Obviously the Vatican, they've had very corrupt popes and very good popes. As far as John Paul went, we don't want to have to go into this debate. And you tell about a tree by its fruit. I think he did far more good than bad, and I wonder actually if there's a battle within the Vatican as well as there's a battle within our government.
Well, yeah, there's struggles, exactly. There's struggles on our streets. There's struggles, in the cities. There's struggles between good and evil every day in everybody's life. But listen, I appreciate your call. Listen, Carolyn Kennedy, who cares? I'm not bashing her call, but who cares about these people? They're all a bunch of establishment people. Who cares about, all of this? We know evil's in high places. I expose and oppose the New World Order policies. Whatever the New World Order's for, I'm against. And that's why we're effective here, is about taking action, not of breaking into a million different camps with every little weird strain of anti-New World Order. Bob Chapman?
I think that's extremely important, and that's bringing the left and the right together, like Tony Hilder and I talked about in 1964. And we tried desperately to do that in the ensuing years, and quite frankly was unsuccessful. But here, in the last 5 to 10 years, I have seen them come together, and it used to be only conservatives were subscribers to my publication. Now, it's half and half.